I call most of the videos I do about the Porsche in the title Porsche Ownership Learning, because I know a lot about cars, but I don't know Porsche. And some of this stuff is so expensive, it's scary. Uh, Imagine this. You're 100 miles from home, and it's drizzly, rainy out. You come out, my wife had a doctor visit. We came out of the doctor visit, we get in the car, and I turn the key on, do the oil check, all the normal things that happen when you do that. So it's going for a second or two. I fire it up, and then smoke. Let me turn it off so you can hear me. Smoke starts coming out the vents, smoke coming out of the frunk, and I'm in the car going, what the? And so I just replaced the alternator. I was thinking electrical. The battery's shorting out. I looked down at my voltmeter, 14.4. The engine was still running. It's like, oh! So I go to get out, and it's like, I got to pop the thingy. So I pop that, not thinking it's going to work, because on the 987.1s, there's no cable. It is a electrical solenoid. Thankfully, it opened. And there's smoke just pouring out, smoke coming through the vents. It's pouring down rain. I get up here, and there's smoke everywhere. So, let me close you in closer here. I know it was like a Chinese fire drill when it was going on. I'm thinking battery. So I pull this off, I'm standing back here, and I'm trying to get in here, and it's not coming off. And I just throw it down there. Battery's fine. And there's still smoke building out, and I hear air. It's like, what? So I start grabbing here, pull this out. It's just covered in oil. You can see that, right? Yeah. It's just covered in oil. So I look down in here. We get a light, too. And there is, just do it this way, put the light there. There is everywhere, all down through here, there's oil everywhere, and there's a vapor and hissing noises. So then I'm thinking, okay, this is the low side, this is the high side service port, it's AC. And it feels like it's coming from up here against the bulkhead. But I put my hand down there, and I'm coming up all oily, but it's not coming out there. I'm feeling pressure. Finally, I zero in, get the light on it, on this fitting right here. Can you see that? This fitting right here. The refrigerant for the AC is coming where the wires are. I can move that. It changes the. So I tried unplugging it. It wouldn't unplug. It would not unplug. So once I figured out it was the AC, I go back, I turn the car off, the engine off, and I come back, I'm looking at it. I figure, okay, if I can unplug it, maybe it'll stop leaking out everything. And that wasn't the answer. That was not the answer. That thing was just leaking like crazy, oil everywhere, refrigerant oil. And I couldn't stop it. I was 100 miles from home, no special tools. So I turned the AC button off. Now let me back up so I can talk again while I put this thing back together. Oh, by the way, this part here, the air conditioning pressure switch, AC pressure switch. I don't really see any numbers on here. And oh, there are some numbers. I didn't get it off till a few minutes ago. Can you see that? Can you see the right there, the Audi symbol? Yeah, Audi. Anyway, I was 100 miles from home. I'm going to talk while I put this thing back together. So, all right, it was only 60 some odd degrees out that day. No problem, we can make it home. Start driving home, and car's running fine. Actually, I was amazed how cool we were inside with just the AC off. And okay, making it home. We stopped at a stoplight traffic signal at a town about, oh, that didn't go in, halfway. And it was a lot of traffic. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve. Today's a Saturday. This happened on Thursday. Not sure if you can see me or not. I'm going to go to low range so I don't get my head cut off. Sitting at a light. Took 3 cycles to get through the left turn lane. Sitting at the light, and the second, I thought I could hear the fans running. The front fans in the radiators here and here. There's fans in front of each wheel. I thought I could hear them both running. And that's not normal. It was only 60 some odd degrees. The AC wasn't running. Why is the fan on so high I can hear it? I thought I could hear the engine compartment fan come on too. And then I got a little bit of a shake. Something's wrong with my car, besides the AC. So, come on. When the light went green, I got out of there. Had plenty of power. I carry my scanner with me. Pull the scanner out. The next 20 miles, I'm on the highway looking through stuff. No codes. No nothing. No AC codes. No nothing. No codes. The car says nothing's wrong. But it shook that one little bit until I got going. Okay. I was kind of bummed. I get on home, and when I get home, I hear both fans up here on high, just the dust cloud creating fans in the summertime. It wasn't that hot. I wasn't running that hard. They're running, and the engine compartment fan's running. All the fans are on high. Like, what in the world is wrong with this thing? So I bring it in here, turn it off. I go inside. I start looking. AC pressure switch. Well, Porsche does not make any air conditioning parts. They use other suppliers. Since they're part of the Volkswagen Audi family, a lot of the parts come from there. Well, the Porsche part number for the AC pressure switch, I can't see these enough to read them off, is a 955 number. All Porsche part numbers are 3 digits, a period, 3 digits, a period, 3 digits, a period, and then normally 2 digits. The first 3 are the model number, or the model that the part first appeared on. Like this is a 987, but most of the parts on this car are 997, the 911 Carrera parts. Like there's a lot of pieces there that way. So most of the parts for this are either 987 or 997. Well, this pressure switch was a 955. That means it was first used by Porsche on the Cayenne SUV. So I start looking those up. And I find some places have them for $20. Some places have the exact same part number for $120 or $130. And then I started looking at the forums. Planet 9, Cayman Registry, blah, 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 all the Porsche stuff. And this is a more common problem. Exactly what happened to me. One story I thought was hilarious, where the guy said, yep, my wife and I got to meet some firemen yesterday. We were sitting at a light. He was in Florida, I think. And all of a sudden, smoke coming out the vents and out the front trunk. Frunk is just having smoke come out like crazy. I'm thinking electrical fire. So as my wife and I are bailing out of the car, my wife's dialing 911. We get out of the car. It doesn't get any worse. But the fireman showed up before I could figure out what all it was. And same thing. Same part. This part's also used on pretty much every single Jetta, Passat, Audi, every Audi. On the A8 Audi, this piece is down on the firewall behind the engine where you got half the car apart to get to it. And the description's all the same. Refrigerant venting through the wires out the end. And there's oil all in there. The Porsche number, the current one is a 0.03. The first one's a 0.00. So there's a 0, a 1, a 2, and now a 3. They're in the 4th revision of this part for Porsche. The Volkswagen part number is, there's an A, a B, a C. I think there's an E. The one I bought off Amazon for $19 was a Volkswagen part number for a 2008 Jetta. I think the Audi TTs had the exact same part as well. It was like $19. Today's Saturday. I ordered it Thursday afternoon. It showed up in the middle of the day. The reason I couldn't get the plug off of mine is the pressure was so hard it wouldn't let the latch unlatch. I had to use a little pick to pop it off. When I did, there was no noises coming out of it. This has been sitting a few days. It blew out more. It was venting more. The wires were holding the stuff in, the refrigerant in. So 17 millimeter, I screwed it off, screwed the new one on there, still had pressure going, plugged in the terminal. I hooked up my manifold gauges. I still had pressure in the system. So I wasn't completely empty. I had no moisture to get in because it was still pushing pressure out. So I ended up adding 12 ounces of 134A and 3 ounces of 134A with oil because I had a lot of oil come out. It's supposed to take 850 grams, which is about 29.6 ounces of refrigerant. But because I still had 44 PSI, high and low, with the engine off, inside the system, I only put in 15.5 ounces. But I know I'm undercharged, but I don't want to overcharge it. And I got to drive it a couple hundred miles on Christmas Day. I want to drive it a couple hundred miles on Christmas Day. I'll do that and see how it does. If it starts cycling or freezing up on me, I'll add another 5 to 10 ounces and go that way. But by the chart, I'm right on with the 70-degree air temperature. I'm at 140 or 33 to 36 low side, 145 to 160 high side when the fans come on. Very slowly. These fans come on, I can't hear them. I'm wearing shorts. Now, if I had my leg in between the tire and the fender while I was looking at the manifold gauge, I could feel the air. That's the only way. And the high side would go up to 250, but it would drop right back down to 140 when the fans came on low speed. So it's a little, again, several Porsche stores, dealers had this for between $30 and $50. Others had it for more than $150. Audi, Volkswagen, and Porsche, it's the exact same part. Porsche Learning, Ownership Learning. Didn't know this was a common problem, but apparently it is. And if you're driving yours, 997, actually I think these go up to 2020 on this part is used. If you get, and because the cabin air filter is right there next to where this thing was, we had the vapor through the vents because it was right there. It's getting sucked in. If you have one of these cars and that happens to you, just hit the AC off button, or if you have an 986, hit the eco button and finish your drive. Do what you gotta do. Get this part. AC pressure switch for Volkswagen. I did the same year in my car. I did 2008 Volkswagen Jetta and ordered the part on Amazon, had it 2 days later. Now I'm back to cold AC. Anyway, you never know what's going to happen with these cars. I was thinking lines or compressor, or first I was thinking electrical, which means total car. Don't think the worst, but sometimes it's a really easy, simple fix. Now, if I could not do the charging myself and didn't know how to read the manifold gauges and all that kind of stuff, I'd be out a couple $100 at least. But it's not a catastrophic failure. Hopefully that was educational to somebody.